Of course, we all know that drinking healthy smoothies will torch belly fat and make you super skinny. You got to guzzle that protein post-workout if you want to hit that anabolic window, bro. All right, let's talk about protein shakes, protein powder, health smoothies, what it is, when to use it, will it actually help you with your fat loss? What about that anabolic window you hear people talk about? Is that a thing? Let's find out in this video. I am your coach, Melanie Black. I am your personal trainer person of the internet. And hello, you beautiful sack of haunted meat. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this little adventure here. If you've had questions or confusion about protein powders, smoothies, and shakes, you are in the right spot. And it is confusing. There's a lot of Instagram models and fitness bros that put out a lot of smoothie recipes. In part because it's easy content, in part because they may be sponsored by protein powders of some sort. I do not have sponsorships of any such thing, so I'm going to give you my take as a sports nutritionist, as a person who's helped lots and lots of people lose all the excess body fat in a sustainable way. What the deal with whey is. All right, so let's get into it. So first off, different types of protein powders. There's a lot to choose from out there. And which one is best is really in part due to, are you allergic to anything? And are you trying to adhere to a certain type of diet? So obviously, if you're vegan, you want to stay away from milk-based protein powders, and you might want to go to something like a pea-based protein powder. There's a lot of different plant-based protein powders to choose from. The nice thing about pea-based protein powders for vegetarians is that oftentimes vegetarians are getting the bulk of their protein food-wise from tofu, which is low in the amino acid tryptophan, which is higher in pea protein. So if you're going to supplement all that soy with something that's going to give you a full amino acid spectrum balance, then go ahead and get it from the pea protein. Now, for everybody else who doesn't have any milk allergies, whey protein, WHEY, is way cheaper and therefore way easier to use in a nutrition plan as a supplement than anything else. Supplement, okay? Protein powder is a supplement. I know that one of the hardest things for a lot of people when they're first starting off on their health and fitness journey and they're getting their nutrition locked in is getting enough protein. Remember, protein isn't just about building big muscles, which obviously it's super important if you're doing that. But if you want to lose weight, remember all of your peptide hormones, the hormones that are really important for all of your fat loss processes, your glucagon, your insulin, your leptin, your ghrelin, these are all peptide hormones, meaning they are made from protein. And protein, we cannot produce all of it on our own. In other words, there are essential amino acids or pieces of protein that the body cannot produce on its own. It needs to get them from food. So if you're not getting enough protein from your food, you're going to end up with amino acid imbalance potentially, which could impact your hormones having to do with metabolic processes, having to do with weight loss. So if you're just interested in weight loss, you're not interested in muscle gain, you still have reason to want to pay attention to your protein. Now, there's a few different formulas out there for figuring how much protein you need. Probably the simplest, the most prevalent out there is your body weight in grams, or your estimated lean body weight in grams. Obviously, if you're 300 pounds, you don't want to get 300 grams of protein in, but if you're, for your height and weight, your estimated lean body weight is around 150, then 150 grams will do you. That will give you enough to make sure that you have enough to rebuild your muscles from workouts, enough to make sure that you are not going into a deficit that may impact things like hair, nails, skin, and peptide hormones. So if you are having enough trouble getting protein in for your goals, then a protein supplement may be appropriate for you. Now, the good news is protein is digested pretty slowly and it's used for building it's like the building blocks of the body. So you don't really need to worry about that anabolic window. Protein is going to digest slowly. The muscle rebuilding that happens, that you need that protein for, a lot of that's going to happen while you're sleeping and over the next 24 to 72 hours after a workout. So there's really the whole anabolic window thing, like, oh, you need to have your shake right after your workout. That's basically been disproven. You don't have to worry about that anabolic window as long as you're getting enough protein over the period of your day in your nutrition program in general and spread out throughout, that's totally fine. You don't need to worry about that anabolic window. It's not as crucial a timing thing. Unlike carbohydrates, they can break down pretty quickly, and using those for pre-workout fuel is great. Pre-workout and early in the day is the best time to have carbohydrates as far as like how your body metabolizes things, because your insulin is more sensitive at the beginning of the day, which helps with the metabolization of carbohydrates. So carbohydrate timing can be a thing to some degree. Pre-workout is better for carbs, but as far as protein goes, have it all throughout your day, spread it out throughout your day, you're fine. You don't need to worry about like a specific anabolic window timing, like hurry up and get your protein shake. You got to suck it down, otherwise you're not going to get it. You can wait, you can relax. You can have, chicken for dinner or whatever you're having for your protein food source and be fine. You don't necessarily need to get that from a shake. So protein powder is more expensive than any of your food sources of protein. Even your cheapest whey powder is not going to be as cheap as seitan. If you make it yourself, it's not going to be cheap as chicken. You're looking at, per serving, a more expensive source of protein with really no added benefits. It doesn't like absorb quicker into the body. You don't have to listen to all the mumbo jumbo packaging that's on all the protein shakes. In fact, if you're shopping protein shakes, one of the most important things you can do for yourself is look not at the front label, but at the back label. So this is the one I got because it was on sale. I don't really care. Like I said, whey protein is going to be the cheaper one. This was the cheapest one I could find at Walmart on the day that I was getting protein powder. On the front here, it says 60 grams of protein. And oh good, this one doesn't have the net carbs. A lot of them say like 2 net carbs or blah 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 net carbs or so many grams of protein right on the front of the label, and it's eye-catching and kind of draws you in. But then you look at the back of the label and you realize, oh, okay, it's 60 grams in 2 scoops. One scoop has different value. A lot of times when they advertise net carbs on the front, the total carbohydrate on the back is very, very different. And those carb calories do matter, even if this has more fiber. So the whole net carbs thing is they take the grams of fiber and deduct it from the total carbohydrate and basically say, oh, well, those carbs don't count. But like calorie-wise, they still count. You should be getting your fiber, yes, but I would ignore net carbs on the front of any of your packaging. And just go right to this boring back label and make sure that it fits the macronutrients that you're trying to do for yourself. In general, when I'm shopping protein powder, I'm looking for something that has carbohydrates that are like less than 7 grams. This one is at 7 grams. Once we get up into 10, 20 grams, then it's like difficult for me to calculate, okay, well, I'm supposed to be getting this much carbohydrate and this much protein, and then I have to deduct the amount of carbohydrate that's in my protein shake. And it just makes it much, much easier if the carbohydrates in your protein shake are low or as close to 0 as possible. Same thing, you want to look for fat. If you're counting macros and or calories, having added fat and carbohydrates in your protein powder is going to make it all the more difficult to use this as a supplement to get the amount of protein that you need. I am not a fan of meal replacement shakes. And when it comes to actually drinking this stuff, I'm not a fan of drinking it either. Now, drinking your calories might be just fine if you're trying to gain weight and you're having just trouble getting all the calories in. I get it. But one of the crucial things that you're missing out on when you're drinking your food in any capacity is the very first step of digestion. When you chew, when you move stuff around in your mouth, there are digestive enzymes that release in your mouth that help aid in digestion. Do not believe anyone who tells you that drinking your food will somehow like make the micronutrients suck up more into the guts because it's broken down and your pathetic human body couldn't possibly break it down as good as like a NutriBullet or whatever the heck they're trying to sell you. Your mouth, your saliva does some real magic on your food to make it more digestible, better in your body, all that kind of stuff. So what I would suggest, if you are going to use a protein powder as a supplement, if you are going to use berries and all that kind of stuff, like make a goop. So right here, this was super easy to make. I just put some blueberries. It was 210 grams of blueberries. into a blender and pulsed it, or you could do a food processor. And then I added a scoop of protein powder and mixed it up. And it makes this goopy frozen dessert-like stuff. It's really good. Sweet, creamy. That's with the vanilla protein powder that I was just showing you. And I have to chew it a little bit, okay? So not only is that getting the digestive enzymes in my saliva going, but it is also letting my body know that I'm actually eating something, okay? Like ghrelin, when we feel as if we are being deprived of food, or when we do not register the calories we're drinking, like if we're drinking something that has calories in it, but it's just like a beverage, we're just chugging it down, your body may not register that it actually had food. And this impacts your hunger on a hormonal level, okay? There's a hormone, ghrelin. It is the hormone that makes you seek out food, and how you think about your food and how aware you are of your food will impact ghrelin, will impact you on a hormonal level. The study that was done with milkshakes to see how ghrelin reacted, they gave people a milkshake that they had labeled as 600 calorie indulgence shake. People did not feel hungry afterwards on a hormonal level. Their ghrelin levels dropped off steeply because, oh, it's so indulgent. And then they gave them a shake labeled 140 calorie sensible shake. And those people stayed the same amount hungry afterwards, because after all, it's like only 140 calories. It's like a diet shake, right? But spoiler, yeah, you knew it. You saw this coming. Both were the same 280 calorie shakes. So yes, it impacts us on an actual hormonal level when we're drinking our food and not actually experiencing it. This is the benefit of mindful eating and sitting down without distractions, not eating in front of your computer, not eating while you're driving, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, protein powder, it is a supplement. It can be useful, and it makes a super tasty dessert. But I do recommend chewing your food rather than drinking it, unless you're like really trying to gain weight and having trouble getting enough calories. So go ahead and let me know your favorite protein powder recipes down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye. Brain freeze. Shit. Okay. Bye. Let me know in the comments what you do for brain freeze.